I am really looking forward to spending time with you, Ian, as well as everyone else that is on this presentation tonight. As you know, and Ian mentioned, this is my favorite workshop. It's designed that it's very cathartic. We kind of let it all out. We shake off the bad, welcome in the new and the positive, and really change how we work with contractors, putting ourselves in the driver's seat and kind of really taking control of our projects, ensuring that we get a job well done. So, Ian, are you ready?
I am ready. Let's go. I'm going to pull up the PowerPoint and we are going to get this thing started. There we go.
Great. So for those of you who aren't aware, Knowing Your Home is normally in person. And this workshop is really designed to get a lot of audience participation. So unfortunately, you're kind of stuck with Ian and myself, at least in terms of real live voices. But we do want to hear from you. If you see at the bottom the Q&A, put in your thoughts, your comments, your experiences. Really, help us make this as participatory as we possibly can. Next year when we're back in person together, I really look forward to seeing and being with all of you. But in the meantime, again, help us make the most of this by submitting your Q&As in the Q&A box at the bottom. All right, so we're going to move to the first slide. And so the first trick about getting your home repairs done is really determining what you're trying to do. I know my biggest feedback from contractors is I show up at houses and people say they're really not sure what they want done, or they know they want a new bathroom, but they don't know exactly what they want it to look like, or, a backyard redo, landscaping. They don't really have a ton of ideas, which is fine. You don't always need to know what you're trying to do, but it's really helpful for all parties involved if you can be as specific as possible when you're trying to get things done. Ian, I don't know if you know this, but I am trying to get my bathroom done on my first floor.
That's a big project.
It is. I have a half bathroom, and surprise, my husband and I are not on the same page in terms of what it's going to look like.
Oh boy.
So, I know it's tough. And so we really had to sit down with someone, and a bathroom is a big ticket item, right? It tends to be the most expensive, or one of the most expensive home repairs that you're going to take next to kitchens. And so we actually sat down with a designer, which was wonderful because, we kind of just spit out everything that we were looking to get done. And then they, merged it all together and spit out some designs for us that we really liked. Unfortunately, COVID hit when we were looking to get the job done. And so it's on hold until kind of things settle back down. I don't know if you've seen it, but lumber for the past few months has been through the roof. I did see a few articles that said the lumber prices are coming down. I'm not sure what changed, but hey, I'll take it. I'm excited to see the lumber pricing going down, which will help make our contracted repairs a lot more affordable.
I just heard that as well today, Allison. So I hope we're heading in the right direction.
Right. So if you see this picture here, the picture on the left, you see a set of steps that, are kind of broken. They're in half. No one could use them. They were a safety issue. And then after, the steps got done, you really want to hone in. Steps are easy. I want working steps that I can go up and down of. But, really just try to figure out what it is you're looking to have done. Next slide. Okay, so what are your frustrations? So, often we have no return phone calls. Sometimes we get no written estimates. Sometimes we have the worst where you've given people money and they've not returned. And then sometimes, you feel like you are kind of getting pushed in the corner because you don't have a ton of information to help you while making, decisions. The contractor's not really helpful, and you just can't wrap your head around what's trying to get done. So that lack of knowledge tends to be a frustration. I don't know, any of you out there in the audience, please feel free. This is our time to get it out. Ian, what kind of frustrations have you had when you were dealing with contractors?
Oh boy. I mean, the phone call thing, I think, is the biggest one, where you reach out to someone and you never hear back. And you know what? To them, it might be a small job, but to you, it's still really important and it needs to get done. So I think the lack of responsiveness, Or then you get someone who comes out and they just write a bid so high. I sometimes wonder if they're doing that because they really don't want the job. And if we want them badly enough, we're going to need to be willing to pay for it.
Exactly. And you know what I'm hearing most is right now contractors are so busy, they don't need to return phone calls. Right now it's definitely a contractor's world instead of a homeowner's world in terms of getting jobs done. So all of the frustrations that we've seen here, these are real world problems that everyone is experiencing. I have the same problem. People call me and say, Allison, just make them call me back. I wish I had that magic wand. I'm not at my desk right now, my normal desk where I do have a magic wand, but I don't have that magic wand that is going to help us fix the problem, because I can't oftentimes get people to return the call. Or people make assumptions. They see me as a woman and they're like, oh, well, I can take advantage of her because she's a woman, meaning I can charge whatever I want, or I can kind of cut corners, but you know, no, we're going to learn how to drive the proper car, and nobody's going to talk poorly to any of us, no matter who you are, and we can ensure the job well done at the end of the day. So these are our frustrations. I do have to, though, say right now, patience is our number one word next to the phrase, get it in writing. So the things we're going to take away today are patience and get it in writing, because right now contractors are really busy, and if they're not, there's probably something wrong with their quality of work. Let's be honest.
That's right.
Next. Okay, so my good friend Tay, she is a well-loved person here in this presentation. We're gonna shake it off. We're gonna move forward. We're gonna let our frustrations stay in the past, and we are gonna move forward now at this point and really take in some tips and tricks to ensure that we get, again, you're going to hear me say it a lot, a job well done, a job done in a workmanlike manner, a job that's going to save us time, tears, and resources. That is our goal tonight. And again, please feel free to submit in the Q&A. We'd love to hear from you. Next slide. All right, so where to start? The biggest thing I think we need to determine is, why are we doing home repairs? What do we want to get at the end of the day? As we know right now, the housing market in Lakewood is hot. And so that means that not a lot of people are selling. They're kind of staying in their homes and they're investing. So you need to determine, you know, am I making a home repair because I want to sell my house and, you know, move to the next home? Do I want to make a home improvement because I want to stay there, you know, make it the home of my dreams? It's my forever home. Maybe I've been cited by the city. Or perhaps it's an aging in place improvement, which we are big fans of. You know, you are thinking about staying in your home long term. You're going to make improvements that will allow you to do so safely for as long as possible. All of these things are great places to start, but you need to know why. Meaning, are you looking to really invest, you know, your hard-earned money to get a really high quality product? Or really is it just kind of a Band-Aid to get you to, you know, to the next step? So really we need to know why we are doing this home repair. Next slide. Okay, so Dominion Home Energy Assessments. You may ask, why is this here? Ian, have you had a home assessment?
I sure have, and it was a fantastic value. It was also just really cool to see how they did it.
Really? I know, I get it. So I'm going to let you in a little secret. I have not had one done yet, and I'm going to tell you why. I am not the reason, I'm not the person to follow in this. Bad shoes. I'm the cobbler's daughter. I have no shoes. My home is going to fail, and I'm afraid to learn how my house is going to fail. My house is old. I live on Spring Garden Avenue. Most of you know that. My house was built in 1906. It's old. I love it to pieces, but she's leaky. She's got a lot of air coming in. So I really haven't pulled the trigger because I'm afraid she's going to fail. That's not a good reason. Be better than me and get this home energy assessment. And because they're going to come in, they're going to do a whole house assessment for you. They do a blower door test, which is this really great test that pressurizes your house. And then they test your windows and your doors to determine where you're losing energy, whether it's your air conditioning or your heat. It's really great to know where energy is escaping. Again, don't be like me. They also use infrared technology. So they're going to use this really cool infrared gun on your walls on the inside, and they'll be able to determine where your house is insulated. They're going to do your furnace check, make sure it's not leaking gas, make sure it's performing as good as it can for its age and the technology that you're using. And then it's also, they're going to check for gas leaks, which is really, really important. Y'all know that natural gas has a added smell, smells like rotten eggs. It's really important for you to go around and, while you're down in the basement doing laundry, or if you're up in the kitchen cooking and you notice that smell, pay attention to it, because it means that you probably have a gas leak. But during this energy assessment, they will come out and use the sniffer and check your gas lines to see if you're leaking any gas. So that's definitely an added bonus. And Ian, I don't know if you remember, but you get rebates on your improvements.
I did, and I was pretty excited about that.
And this is why this is here at the beginning. It used to be at the end of the presentation, but then I decided this is a really great thing to tell you about early on, because there are rebates on your improvements. So next slide, please.
And Allison, if I might, it was because of the home energy assessment that they discovered we had a slight carbon monoxide leak from our water heater. And my wife and I had found out that we were pregnant and realized we needed to get that water heater replaced, not just for our safety, but for our future baby's safety. So not only was there a big added value in knowing how we can make our home more energy efficient, we were actually in kind of a dangerous situation. So I'm grateful that we went through that process.
That's really good news, Ian, and it makes me happy. As most of you may or may not know, carbon monoxide is odorless. Doesn't smell like anything. And unfortunately, it really is. And sometimes if there is a bad enough leak, people just don't wake up. And that's really scary. And this is a good plug for you to always have working smoke detectors as well as carbon monoxide detectors. So thank you for that. We'll go to the next slide. So this is the link, and this will take you to the website that gives you all of the really great information about Dominion Home Energy Assessments. You may or may not know Lakewood Alive is a small nonprofit. We are very community driven and focused, and I'm going to throw in a shameless plug here. If you go ahead and register to have your energy audit done, if you mention Lakewood Alive, it's free for you, free. Normally they charge, I think it's $50. Yep. It has a $500 value, but they've been able to mark down the price to $50. But if you mention Lakewood Alive, they will make a donation to us for $25, which is fantastic. I think we have probably made about $800 on this, at least, maybe $1,000, by all of the very generous folks who are smart. They're making repairs and they're thinking about ways they can save money, but then also they want to benefit Lakewood Alive. So it's a win-win. And again, this energy audit really helps you determine, if you're going to get insulation done, if you were thinking about a new furnace or hot water tank, or getting new windows. This is something that will really unlock some rebates for you. This website has all that information on there for you and gives you the step-by-step process. So you also get a low-flow shower head, a low-flow sink aerator, as well as LED light bulbs, and the ability to get a Nest thermostat installed for $75. If you're looking to have a smart thermostat, it's a really great bonus for you, and they'll install it. So,
and Allison, I'll tell you, I when they told me I was getting a low flow shower head, I recalled the Seinfeld episode when either he or Kramer got a low flow shower head and there wasn't enough pressure and they couldn't wash their hair, and it was the whole episode was about this low flow. So that's the first thing I went back to, folks. It's not the Seinfeld low flow, so don't let that intimidate you.
Thank you. I wish you knew what episode that was.
Yeah, I'll find out.
If Dave was here, he'd be able to tell us, or Lauren. Right. I'm not that into Seinfeld, but that's really funny.
Yeah.
So it'll help save on your water bill. But so here's the end of the shameless plug. But again, it's really great for you to help you make informed decisions about home repairs. All right, next slide. Okay, so we're going to talk about doing our homework first. This is really helpful for any repair you're looking to do, whether you've been cited by the city or whether you have decided you were going to make improvements to your home because you're looking for more aesthetics or cosmetics, or you just want to make, an investment in your property. Doing your homework is really important. You can talk to your inspector if you've been cited, or you can call the building department to find out, what are the rules for whatever it is you're trying to accomplish. Does the repair need a permit? More often than not, a contractor's probably not going to tell you that it's a permit job. Whether they're just busy and they forget, or maybe they really are on top of what requires a permit. It's really good. They have a list on the website that we'll talk about in a minute that tells you whether or not a job needs to have a permit or not. As we know, the glory of the internet, there's many, many YouTube videos. Sometimes they're great, sometimes they're terrible. So I'd encourage you to watch maybe 1 or 2 videos on a certain topic, or go to the trusted resource like Bob Vila, This Old House, or even LakewoodAlive's archives we have on our website from Knowing Your Home. The past 2 seasons, or 1.5, are recorded and are on our website and can be watched on demand. We don't have a lot to offer, but on-demand videos are something that we are now able to offer you. And you can watch those videos and kind of pick up a few tips or tricks or how to do an actual repair. And then also we have an amazing resource right in our own backyard, Glenn Palmer at Lakewood Hardware. Amazing, amazing, amazing. And then Avi or Juan or Vince over at Cleveland Lumber. They are amazing as well and would be happy to answer any of your questions. So let's do our homework first in order to set us up for success. Next slide. There's also the library. You can go there, check out books. Also look on their website. They have access to many different resources that they pay for, different licenses that you may have access to. So the library has amazing books as well as the internet. But really, at the end of the day, as we've been talking about, it's important to know what you're going for. Are you trying to put that Band-Aid on, make it someone else's issue? Are you looking to make a really great improvement that's going to improve your quality of life? Or are you looking to do an upgrade? It's time. You've worked so hard. You love your home. You want to invest in it so that not only is it going to be sound, but it's also going to be a place that you really love and enjoy, and it works to what you're looking for. So Ian, how is your kitchen working for you?
Oh boy, well, it's small, and there isn't much we can do about that, but we do the best that we can, and it's working okay.
And are you a big fan of open concept?
I am not so much. My wife likes it a little more than I do, but we don't have that opportunity in the house that we're currently in. Yeah.
So a lot of folks are making their kitchens connected to their dining rooms and their family rooms. The open concept is really, really hot. I personally like walls. Oftentimes I need a break from my family members, and especially at the holidays, they tend to be just smothering me with love and attention. So the kitchen becomes my little place that I get to go. I don't cook, but I find a reason to be in there cleaning dishes or something. And so I really like the walls, but these are types of things that you want to think about. Do you want walls or not want walls? Do you want to have stainless steel versus colored appliance, black or white? All of these things really can add up or add a little something special to your improvement or your job. So these are all things to consider when you are looking to make your home repair. Next slide. Okay, so we kind of talked about this, but the building department is a great resource. A lot of people think, gee, I'm afraid of them. They're just going to come in and they're going to cite me, or they're going to cause more problems than it's worth. But really, they are the folks who know ordinances and codes. They know what a job well done looks like. So bringing in the building department at various stages of your job really is quite the help to you, the homeowner, especially when you are contracting a repair. Or if you are doing something yourself, it's a great way to ensure that you are doing something up to code. So whether or not you're going to be selling your home or just for safety purposes. Bringing things up to code and doing it correctly is very important. So when working with a contractor, these are two words that you really need to know: licensed and bonded. Licensed means that they are allowed to work in the city of Lakewood. They have paid their registration fee, they have proper insurance. The city of Lakewood knows that they are doing work in our community. Bonded is all about that insurance. It's there to protect themselves, meaning if someone gets hurt or if they accidentally, put a hole in your wall, as well as to protect you so that you know that if something happens while on your property, they have the proper insurance to cover it and everything's going to be fine. If you visit LakewoodOhio.gov, so the city of Lakewood has changed their website address, but have no fear. OneLakewood.com reroutes to LakewoodOhio.gov. So if you go on there, you can check for registered contractors. We're going to go over that in just a minute, but you can also call me at LakewoodAlive. You can email me or give me a call. I'm happy to talk about different contractors. We do not endorse contractors, but we do give you names of folks who are registered as well as have good reviews with the Better Business Bureau, Angie's List, and are in good standing with the city. So I don't know about you, Ian, but I'm always scouring and looking for new contractors. And there are just so many different places that you can look. Sometimes it's confusing and I'm not really sure where to turn.
It sure is. And, it's actually because of knowing your home and learning from this workshop series that when we dealt with contractors in the past where they actually would return our phone call and actually give us a reasonable bid, we would ask, are you licensed and bonded? And are you registered in the city? And really follow through on those things. And a couple of times we got some blank stares like, well, what do you mean? I'm just going to do the job. Well, no, that's not going to fly. So I think this is a really critical thing to hit home.
Yeah, it's so important because you just want to make sure you know who's working. And, oftentimes I hear, oh, contractor took my money or they did a terrible job. And I say, well, did you pull a permit? This is a permit job. Oh, no, I didn't know that I needed to. The building department's not really going to be able to help unless you did get that building permit like you were, supposed to. So it's important. And again, the city has a list on their website of what requires permits, but you can also give them a call at the building department to figure it out. Next slide. So here are some additional resources: the Better Business Bureau, Angie's List. If you are a Facebook fan, you see a lot of people on the Lakewood community pages or friends of yours asking for contractors. It's a fine way to get a contractor, but make sure you're taking recommendations from people that you know. My favorite thing is when people ask, hey, I'm looking for a plumber or I'm looking for a contractor. And I kind of keep an eye on those pages to see what's going on. And the person themselves, like Joe Smith Plumbing, replies like, I'm a plumber. Or like Joe Smith's wife, Jane Smith, says, oh, I know a guy. He's so great. I don't know. It's just kind of weirds me out. I want to get a name from someone who is tried and true and trusted and been used. So if you do go that route and you ask into the community pages or you ask a friend, just make sure you do your due diligence and make sure you're hiring someone and making sure that they're licensed and bonded, that they're registered with the city, and that they have good reviews. So another way you could do that is get the names from the Facebook pages, social media, and then check on the Better Business Bureau or Angie's List to see if they have good reviews. Next slide. So as you'll see here, I just wanted to show a picture of this. This is OneLakewood.com, now Lakewood, Ohio, LakewoodOH.gov. Sorry, it's going to take me a little while to get used to that, but they go to the same place, LakewoodOhio.gov. And you'll see the website. It's a little small there, but it's LakewoodOhio.gov. We'll put it into the chat, perhaps, if we can. So if you go to that, it's kind of hard to find it. It's no one's, websites are hard sometimes. So we'll put the link into the chat, and then you'll see contractor registration. So you'll see here that they are listed by trade. So, if you're looking for a plumbing contractor, if you're looking for a concrete or a asphalt contractor, it's there. And all of the people who are on this website are registered with the city. So they fill out the registration and then they get put onto this list. The confusing part about this list is that contractors can be registered in different groupings. So if they're a general contractor, they may be listed under general contracting, and then you may see them, under painting or plumbing. So I would encourage you to use this list. It's a great place to start, but then do a little digging online to see exactly what it is that they offer. Some of the folks on here are commercial only contractors because they have to be registered with the city. So some asphalt contractors only do commercial parking lots or city striping on streets. So it gets a little confusing because you may call, I don't remember, Anthony Allega. I think they've been doing our streets and our sidewalks, but then you find out that they're only commercial. So it takes a little bit more research, but that's good because we want to do as much research as we possibly can because it allows us to get to know our contractors a little bit better. So LakewoodOH.gov is a great resource. Make sure to check it out. Next slide.
And Allison, I'll tell you, and I think a lot of folks know, I grew up in a hardware store, and while I didn't retain any knowledge of the actual, home repairs of a hardware store, not only did I learn work ethic and how to ring a cash register and count nails, I also learned that folks turn to their trusty hardware store owner, as you mentioned, Glenn, for advice. And so I go to Glenn and I go to Allison, and those are the people who I turn to because I trust them and I know they're not going to steer me. It's not Jim's plumbing because he's only interested in Jim's plumbing. Glenn and Allison don't have a dog in the hunt. And so I saw people do that when I was a kid, and now as a homeowner who doesn't know anything, I turn to those two, and they've really helped to guide me and get me connected with the right folks.
Yeah, and thanks for bringing that up because it's really, I eat, breathe, sleep housing, and I really love Lakewood and Lakewood Alive. If you don't know that about me, I've been with the organization since 2013. And I just love old houses and I love all of you. So the people, I spend a lot of time getting to know contractors, getting to know the work that they do, hearing feedback from clients and the work that they've had done. I generally hear a lot of bad stuff. Sometimes I get the good stuff. So if you are a client of mine, just always give me feedback, good or bad, because it really helps us continue to work with reputable contractors. But I'm always putting my ear to the ground, trying to hear what people are saying, and looking for new people, and then doing our due diligence to ensure that they are good. Again, we do not endorse contractors, but I'll give you 3 to 5 contractors for whatever you're trying to accomplish. And then the things that you'll learn here tonight will help you pick the right guy or gal for the job. Again, so LakewoodOhio.gov, and now we have the Better Business Bureau. Fabulous website. Whoever this person is in the bottom corner, it always pops up wanting to chat with me. They have good customer service. I don't ever chat with them, but the Better Business Bureau is a great place to find how long a contractor's been in business and if they have any complaints. And again, if you remember anything about the internet, you're generally going to find out if someone's bad, meaning people tend to post wherever they possibly can if someone has done a poor quality job. It's not often that we hear a lot of positives, but we do hear a lot of negatives. And so that's why the Better Business Bureau is great, because you can read the complaints, you can see what they were. Sometimes there's something as simple as, I called, they didn't come out and give me an estimate. And then sometimes they reply with, I'm really sorry, I showed up, no one was home, or, my dog ate my whatever. You can read into why that person was not able to attend the estimate. But then also, you can see when stuff really goes south and then see how that contractor deals with it. I have a lot of respect for contractors who, sometimes things happen, right? We're not perfect. None of us are. So the ones that will come out and spend the time to help correct the issues, to me, in my book, that's, something that really makes them stand out. So again, that gives the contractor the opportunity to reply to the complaint, and give their side of the story. So it's super helpful and it's free. You get a lot of great information from it. So I encourage folks to bookmark the Better Business Bureau website and use it as a resource. Next slide. Okay, so we're working through this here. I know it's a lot of information, but all of this is very important. So now in the world of this workshop, we have determined what our home repair is going to be, why we're getting it done, meaning we have our budget in mind. And now we're going to work on getting estimates. LakewoodAlive and the city of Lakewood encourage a minimum of 2 estimates. I can feel you from the internet going, oh God, I do not want to interact with contractors. Do I really have to interact with 2 to 3 to 4 of them in order to get these estimates? And the answer is yes. Getting 1 estimate only really is doing yourself no favors. So make sure you definitely get a minimum of 2 estimates. And you create that list, especially if it's a complicated home repair, meaning you're getting your kitchen done, your bathroom done, you're waterproofing your basement, and you're getting your downspouts worked on at the same time. Whatever it is, you want to spell out exactly what you're hoping to accomplish. Again, you don't need to say, I want to have granite countertops and a clawfoot tub, but you can say, I want to gut my bathroom and I want to put in new vanity and toilet and shower, or maybe you just want to have your floor done and a new toilet put in because you want that new, you've heard me talk about them, Comfort High toilets. They're the bomb. I just had 2 put in and I love them. But you want to just specify kind of what you're hoping to accomplish so that when you are getting estimates, you are getting apples to apples estimates. So you see one is $30,000 for your bathroom, the other's 15. You may find that the one person estimated you on something that they forgot 6 of the things that you wanted to have done, and that's why the price was so low. Or maybe the people who gave you the higher estimate were putting in the Taj Mahal of toilets, and you really just wanted a nice Comfort Height toilet that didn't need to, break the budget. Oh, hi, there you are. So really, it really helps to spell out what it is you're trying to accomplish, and using that when getting your estimates. Next slide. So things that we're remembering today, one is patience. What's the second thing, Ian? Do you know? Do you remember?
Oh boy, patience, and I don't remember.
That's okay. You're going to hear it 7 more times.
Good.
Oh, get it in writing.
Yes.
And then never sign the estimate the day that you get it. You need to digest it, read it over, and compare it. When I was a kid, my mom would always ask me, how's your stomach feeling? Because I'd always get an upset stomach if I was doing something that was not up to snuff, or if I was breaking the rules. So my stomach test is basically what I have said as an adult is always sleep on it before you sign a contract. When you are signing a contract, you are literally signing a contract. So there are rules that apply to it. And all the stuff in the fine print applies to you once you sign that contract. So you need to know what your right to cancel is. Oftentimes it's 3 days, but some contractors may have something else in their estimates or their contracts. So take your time, read the fine print, understand that we'll keep going over some things here tonight of what you need to work on, but never sign it and take your time. Next.
Allison, we also got a comment that not only should you get everything in writing, you also should make sure to shake it off.
Oh, I don't know who you are. Oh, yeah, shake it off. Okay.
Well played.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, moving on. All right. So, oh yeah, shake it off. I just love Taylor. Just love her. I wish I had the technology to be able to put that into this, but I'm not that good with technology. And I probably would get like a fine or something for playing her music without her permission.
That's the LakewoodAlive way, yes.
Yeah. So, okay. So when we get our estimates, we are going to make sure we get them in writing. They're going to say, oh, for you, Ian, I'm going to put in granite countertops and gold toilets. Let's say
it better be comfort height.
Yeah, right? So if they just say that to you in passing and it's not written down, it's not happening. They're using that as a tactic to get you to sign on the dotted line. So again, make sure that everything is in writing. Seriously, I can barely remember what I had for breakfast. I'm not even joking. I think it was a sandwich. I don't know. So if I can't remember what I had for breakfast, it's been a busy day. Your contractor who deals with 100 other people daily, giving them estimates, is not going to remember that he told you gold comfort height toilets and granite countertops were on him. So again, you're going to want to make sure that it's in writing. And here are some tips and tricks that we've learned. Use the I know what I'm talking about trick. So get a couple words under your belt. You can call me. We'll do a little session before you talk to your contractors and we'll get you prepped. But basically, talking about things using proper terminology instead of like that thing, it leaks. And sometimes, it does that sound when I do these 3 things at one time. Either they see you as a target or they're annoyed because they don't understand what you're trying to say to them. I mean, ask my husband when I'm like, hey, did you get that thing at the store? And he's like, it drives him up the wall. So imagine if that was a contractor who was trying to solve some of your problems. So make sure you get your terminology down. Again, you don't need to be a rocket scientist, but just having some common words when dealing with like your roof, that they're asphalt shingles and that there is felt and underlayment, under there. And, do you have ice guard under there? Some just common terms that will help you kind of stand apart from some of the other folks that they're working with. If something is not clear, ask for clarity. We are the ones who are paying the money, a lot of money, especially these days. Ask questions. What color shingles am I allowed to have? They should say you get to pick out whatever color you want. Or how long is this job going to take? Where am I on the list? Who are the people who are doing the work? Is it you? Do you have other people who are going to come who, you just go to Home Depot and pick up some people in the morning and take them on the job? Or are they people that you pay, weekly to do work and they work for you? So if it's not clear, ask. What types of materials are being used? And if there's a warranty, how do you get that warranty? Do you have to fill out a little postcard and mail it to somebody? Do you have to go online and fill out a form? Do you have to call the owner of the company and say, okay, hi, I paid you, please enact my warranty? Ask questions. We are in charge. We are controlling this. Ask questions. All right, next slide.
And I'll tell you, the warranty piece, especially when it came to getting an entire exterior house painting, had I not been associated with Lakewood Alive and or known Allison, I would not have known to have asked that question. And I did. And one contractor was somewhat surprised that I even asked the question, but he said, well, yes, we do. And not many people say much about that. And I thought, well, I don't think I want to work with you. So that alone was something that was super helpful. And to know, will it carry forward if I sell my house? What happens to the next homeowner? So those were some really good questions that I learned to ask. Yeah,
and that's really common with roofing and waterproofing. And you have to read the fine print. You generally can transfer it once. Mm-hmm. So Ian, you sell your house, it goes to the next person. They maybe have to move because of a job transfer or something, and they want to use this as a bonus. Like, oh, I'm selling this house again. We have this really great waterproofing done. But then you find out that you can't transfer it. So asking questions is really important. Or if you are buying a new house or whatever, again, asking questions about how this stuff is going to apply to you.
Absolutely.
Next slide, please. Okay, so again, when you're getting your estimates, let people know what you're trying to accomplish. I said this at the very beginning, but this really saves time and money because, again, if they think that you want the Taj Mahal of toilets and you really just want a water-saving comfort height toilet, the $100 one from Home Depot, you just need to set your expectation. And then, are you looking to get a long-lasting repair? I mean, I would say yes, of course, but then sometimes you're just thinking, I need to get this fixed for now. I don't have the money to make a huge investment. the toilet's leaking. I need it to stop leaking. We just need to get it to stop leaking. So really understanding what you're trying to accomplish and telling that to your contractor so that you are getting the estimate that you are expecting, and they can give you what it is that you're expecting. Again, as I mentioned, you need to ask who is doing the work. I got my roof replaced at this point, it's been probably 12 years ago. And I just remember this really, a lot of really nice, well-dressed men came out and gave me estimates. And then a whole different group of people showed up to do the work. And at the time, I was a brand new homeowner at that time, and I didn't think to ask who's coming to do the work. I didn't know who to talk to when they showed up. I didn't know who the foreman was. I didn't feel like I could just go up to anyone and start asking questions. Now, if that was what was happening, I would have no problem doing that. But as a newer homeowner, I wasn't sure what I was allowed to do and what the appropriate thing was. Again, it's reminding all of us, and sometimes we need to hear it more than once. We are in control. We are paying the bill. We are hiring the contractor. They're not hiring us. We are their boss. And so it's okay to ask questions. So now I ask, who's doing the work? Who should I talk to on the crew when I have questions? And when are you going to get to me? And do you have subcontractors? A subcontractor means they don't work directly for the company. It's someone who they're bringing in, and that's okay. But you kind of want to understand why. So for instance, if I'm getting my new furnace, which I just recently got, sometimes you need to get a new electrical panel. Sometimes a furnace company subs that out, meaning they bring in an electrician for you. Sometimes they have an electrician on staff. Or sometimes they say to you, here's a couple names of people who we work with, call them, get an estimate, and have them come out and upgrade your electrical system. So just really understanding who's doing the work, again, will set your expectations. It's very important to know who's doing the work. Next slide. All right. Ian, I don't know how many times I have gotten an estimate and it's been written on a little piece of paper or verbally been told to me. And I have so many questions. This is not an actual estimate. I know it's surprising, but this is something that I have seen a million times. And people have written like 4 words, given me a price, and then left. I mean, so this is for fixing a step. And so we don't know what the materials are that they're going to use. We don't know how they're repairing the rail. And then we don't know if the mortar is going to match. This is a masonry set of steps. Is the mortar going to match, or is it going to stick out like a sore thumb? So there's a lot that leaves you asking a lot of questions here. Next slide. This is a middle of the road contract. Now, technology is changing. Some of the younger contractors that I have seen have a system where they just create estimates through a computer-generated invoice, which is amazing, and we'll see one of those in a moment. Some of the old-timers like to write everything out, and that's fine. It doesn't matter how you're getting it. You just need to be able to read it, and you need to be able to get enough detailed information that you're going to feel confident in what you're signing for. So this is an estimate that I found online, and I felt that it had some good information. It's written, it's kind of hard to read, but they're telling you they're going to remove the furnace. They're going to remove the stack from the top of the chimney, I'm sorry. And then they're going to do X, Y, and Z. They're going to install ice guard. Oh, remove furnace stack. Sorry.
This is sadly written better than my handwriting, and it's still not very good.
Yes, and I apologize. I didn't read this today. It's been a while since I've looked at it. So this is for a roof repair, and they're going to remove some of the old stacks that come out of your roof, and they're going to fill them in, and then they're going to put down some ice guard and some shingles. So they're spelling everything out, but it is kind of hard to read. And so it's $358 down, and then the remaining $1,095 would be due at the completion of the job. So at least they're spelling out and telling you the terms of the project. Next slide. This one is a roof repair to compare to the previous estimate. So half of it's already written out for the contractor. So they just kind of fill in what they're looking to do. This is a roof replacement. They're telling you that they're going to tear off and remove the existing roof material. The other option below it would be putting shingles over your old roof. And then they tell you how many squares of shingle that they're going to install. So you can kind of get an idea of why they're charging you whatever it is that they're charging. They're going to add some ridge vents on there, and they're going to do a few other things. And so this one has more detail. But really what I'm falling in love with are these new automated systems where they put in your information and they give you a bunch of detail. So they're going to tell you the type of product, how much of the product that they're using, what the cost is, how many hours of labor it's going to take to complete said job. And so, you know, contracts and estimates are just getting better and better. So I guess my point of showing you these things is they should be detailed. We're going back to always get it in writing. If it's not on here, it's not happening. If it doesn't say gray shingles, you may get blue shingles or brown shingles. So if you want a special thing, which you should want to know what color of shingle is going on your house, you're not going to get it, or there's nothing for you to go back on when they install purple shingles and you wanted gray shingles. So again, the more detailed, the better. Also, notice on here, there's a suite number, there's an address, there's a phone number. There actually isn't a phone number on here, but maybe at the bottom.
Yeah,
but
there you go. It's at the bottom.
Where they work. You want to know where to find them. You don't want a P.O. box. You don't want just a name and a phone number. You want to know that this is a legit contractor that has a residence. It's okay if they work from home, and I get it, they may not want you to know that they work from home, but you just need to know that they are a real life human with a real life address, and they really do this work. So doing your research, getting as much information from them as possible, and making sure that they're registered really will help you get set up for success. Next slide. Okay, so we're going to evaluate the information. Is it readable? Again, you want to take the time. Again, never sign a contract to the day that you get it, because you want to get clarifications and read them over and see if anything is missing. Does it look professional? Nowadays, people have access to free online word processing software, or they have access to a copy machine where they can copy their letterhead onto an estimate and they can handwrite it legibly and give it to you. Or they can find a free online form and email it to you. So there are many ways that people can get estimates to you that aren't expensive, but are detailed and will help you make sure you're getting a job done well. Next slide. Again, if it's not written in the estimate, it's not going to get done. So the reason I keep bringing this up, especially if you're working with someone who you're friends with, or a family member, or a referral from a really good friend, it's like their husband or something, or you're just like me and you just don't have the time to deal with crap. Like you have no more energy to give to crap. You're just done. The more that's in writing allows you to have proper ammunition to get stuff done the way that you want it to. It just makes things way easier. It's very black and white. You point to the form. You said you were going to do X, Y, and Z. You did it. Great. You didn't. X is missing. When are you going to come out here and fix that? And also helps to address if there are additional charges. You're going to see additional charges with home repairs like roofing. Wood replacement cost is always an additional cost. It says it in the fine print. They're going to charge you. It used to be $50 for a plywood sheet. I think it's gone up to $60.
There's some here on the bottom of the example you provided from the one estimate on the very bottom.
I can't. I
Says
can't.
the wood replacement is additional if needed, $50 a sheet, $5 a foot, and $60 for the soffit.
Right, and there it says the workmanship 5-year warranty.
Right.
So basically, you just want to know plumbing. Sometimes there's additional costs, and in your estimate, it's probably going to tell you this is how we deal with additional costs. Sometimes it doesn't. So again, you want to address those things. There's a local roofing company that we work with, and it says in their contract, we will replace up to $450 in wood replacement. And after at $451, that's when we're going to take a pause and let you know that it's an additional cost. Other roofers aren't going to tell you. I always encourage everyone when getting their roof replaced to ask them, what is the worst case scenario? How much is this really going to cost me if you have to replace all of the decking on my roof? So that you can be prepared. You're probably not going to need that, but if you know it's going to be $500, you can be prepared for that additional money that's going to be added onto your bill. I remember I had a plumbing job done, again, very early on when I moved into my house. And the bill, they came back, they told me it was going to be $700 or something. I don't remember what it was. And they were replacing the pipe that came into my basement that took away the downspout water from rain. So it was going into a storm sewer through my basement, and it leaked. Every time it rained, it leaked. I had to put a bucket under it. Seemed pretty cut and dry to me. They were going to take a Sawzall, take off 2 pieces of the pipe, replace it with new PVC. Well, to them, they were getting in the middle of the project and something changed, and they left and went to the hardware store. Nobody told me. No one said, hey, Allison, the scope of the work has changed. So then I got the bill, and it was $1,300. And I was like, I called. So I got a little bit braver because I was, probably 2 or 3 years into being a homeowner at that point. And I said, I don't understand what this charge is. Well, they had to leave and go to the hardware store and time, and then they had to bring in someone else to help get that, situation taken care of. No, nobody stopped and told me that this was happening. So now whenever I have a job that could change, so something that is going to potentially develop into something else, I tell that contractor, if you are making changes, I need you to stop and tell me. That way, when I get the bill, I'm not surprised. I understand what it is, and I know what the cost is going to be. Money doesn't grow on trees. Money is hard to come by, right? We work hard for our money. We also want to make sure we're not being taken advantage of. What's the problem? Why are you up there, having to make changes? So we just say, if you're going to need to go out and buy something else or bring someone else in, please tell me so that I can be aware of that and be expecting an additional cost. They reduced some of the labor cost for me, and the price was adjusted, which was great. I felt like that was a win. And I was able to feel like I wasn't being taken advantage of. It was a great plumber. It's just, I don't think that plumber knew, the person on my job knew to say something. So it really helped me, and I think it helped them moving forward.
Yeah, had they just communicated with you about what was happening, that would have alleviated most, if not all, of the situation, probably, right?
Exactly. And again, they were working with me. I don't know if it was because I was a girl. I don't know. But, I just nip it now early on. These are my expectations. I want a job well done. You want to get paid. So this is how we're going to get there. And again, I feel like it does avoid awkward situations. Next slide. Okay, so checking your references. So there's your inner self check. You meet with someone, you find out who's going to do the work. Maybe it's the person who showed up. How did you feel about that person? Do you feel comfortable? Do you feel comfortable with them being in your house? There are some people who I have met, and no offense to them, but I didn't feel comfortable having them in my house for whatever reason. There's many different reasons, and it doesn't matter. You just need to feel comfortable. Do you want them around your friends and family in your house or outside? Do you want your neighbors to see these people working on your house? Meaning, do they give off a bad vibe for whatever your reason is? If you're a single person or you're, elderly and you're not sure, it's okay to do a gut check and see how you feel if someone's just giving off a vibe. And will you feel safe? And this is mostly, for everyone, but for a single person being at home, no matter who you are, you just need to feel comfortable when you're having someone come in your home and do work. Safety first, number one. Next slide. Get your references again. So certain repairs, house painting, roofing, driveway, concrete, asphalt work. You can ask those contractors to see references. So they'll give you names and addresses of homes you could drive by. It's great if you're getting your roof done and you're kind of picking a shingle color that maybe is a little outside of your comfort zone. At least my roofer gave me a list of all the different places in the area that had my shingle color. I went with a black asphalt shingle with little blue specks. And I have to say, it's out of my normal MO. I wouldn't normally pick that, but I really just think it adds a little jazz to my house. So, but I wanted to see it on other homes to see how it was. So it's okay to ask contractors, could you just give me addresses of where you had work done? Generally, they'll give you those lists, no problem. Other people may not think about it, so you just need to ask. And if they list dates of when work was done, start with a newer one to see what it looks like fresh, and then pick an older one that's had a little bit of wear on it, so some weather or a couple winters, and just see how everything's holding up. Next slide. Okay, so again, ask questions if you feel comfortable talking to people, getting references, or on the community pages or your friends who had work done, ask them, would you hire this person again? How long ago was the work completed? Did they stick to the timeline that they gave you? And if not, why? And would you use them again? There are definitely people that I would use again, and there are definitely people that I wouldn't. And, and I'm very happy to share why with anyone who calls, why I wouldn't use someone again. Or here's some tips and tricks of how I, navigated through the situation with someone. I had a contractor that would have me go buy all the materials for the work that was being done, which was fine. And for me, it's fairly easy. But for other people, they may not want to go to the hardware store and try to figure out what type of mortar to buy or what type of caulk to buy. And so, I would tell someone, hey, this guy is fine, but I had to go buy my own materials because that's the way that he worked. Is more of a handyman type person. And again, it worked for me. It may not work for you. So, there's something to be said for talking to people and finding out what their experiences were. Next slide. Okay, so we've identified our work. We have gotten our estimates. We made sure everything was in writing, and we're getting ready to sign on that dotted line. You selected your contractor, so now what? You need to talk about your payment. Before you sign on that dotted line, what are the expectations? Is there money up front? Are there payment schedules? What happens with unexpected costs? And is there a contingency? Contingency means that they have added a certain percentage, it's generally 10%, to an estimate. So a larger job, kitchen or bathroom, repair or replacement, you're doing rehab on your kitchen and your bathroom, you want to make sure you have that contingency plan built in. So you have that extra 10% set aside in case they come up with unexpected costs. So you just want to make sure that everything is kind of spelled out. So, let's talk about money. Nobody likes to talk about money, but it's something that you got to do, especially with your contractors. So money up front. People, especially smaller contractors, need money in order to purchase materials to get your job started. Larger companies tend to not ask for money down, or they'll ask for a small amount, like $50 or $100, just to kind of hold your place and know that you're serious. I have somewhat changed my viewpoint. I still don't think we should give money up front to anyone. You know, you and I have to work in order to get our paychecks, right, Ian? You know, we're not just getting paid for the future.
Right, right.
No. And so it's just smarter when you are paying money up front, you're paying for something. So, you know, if they ask for half down, you may try to negotiate that if you're getting materials delivered or you need materials for that job. I will pay you for the materials once they're delivered to my house. That way, you know that if that contractor does not come back, you have the materials that you could hire someone else in to finish the job. I know what you're thinking. You're all thinking, I don't know that I can negotiate with my contractor about this. You have to kind of weigh your comfort level. If it's a larger company or someone who you've worked with before or your family member has and that's tried and true and trusted, it's probably a little less risky. If it's a newer contractor who you've never worked with or you don't know anyone who's worked with them, you know, you can call the city, you can look at the Better Business Bureau, do your homework before you sign that contract, which you should be doing anyway. But I just get real nervous about giving half of the money down on something that hasn't been done. So you really need to check yourself and see what your comfortability is with that and try to negotiate, if you feel comfortable, getting something for the money. Or, hey, come and work a day or two first, then I will give you this money down. You know, contractors, if they're afraid you're not going to pay, there's a lot of things that they can do. Place a lien on your property. They can take you to court. There's a lot of things that they can do to ensure that they get paid. It's really hard on us homeowners or residents to really just put all that money down and just hope that they're going to come back. So again, if you do that, make sure you do as much due diligence as you can to ensure that they're going to show back up and do the work. Payment schedules, again, for larger jobs, this is great. Like, you put in my kitchen cabinets and my floor, I'll give you a quarter payment. You install the lighting and the refrigerator and the stove, here's another quarter payment. Whatever it is, but make sure you work out what that payment schedule is and when you're going to pay them.
And put it in writing.
And put it in writing, exactly. I've been in a situation where a job took longer than anticipated, and the contractor is like, look, I got to pay my people. This is taking too long. Not my problem. We agreed upon a payment schedule. Not my problem. Again, we are in control. We are the bosses. You agreed to something, contractor. We signed on it. I'm going to hold you to it, just as you're going to hold me to paying you and doing all the things I'm supposed to do. You need to uphold your end of the bargain too. And again, just trying to talk about with them, if there's going to be any unexpected costs. Again, I know the word unexpected, nobody knows what that means. But, you know, what could go wrong in this scenario? How much could it cost? And that's where that contingency really can come in and be helpful, because you already have money set aside to help deal with unknowns. And you're going to see those unknowns and unexpected costs are going to come up with our homes, especially. Our homes are 80 to 110 years old at least. And they have stuff. They've lived lives. They've been through things. They've seen things we haven't seen. We don't have X-ray vision, so we don't know that they're going to happen. But again, being as aware and having that money set aside will really help everyone involved. Next slide. Okay, so time frame. How long is this job going to take? When can they start? How long will the job take? I bring this up for bathrooms, for kitchens, for basements, really anything. Your life is going to be disrupted. A lot of our homes only have one bathroom, so you have to make other accommodations. Maybe you kind of set up a temporary half bathroom in the basement if they can throw a toilet in there for you. You know, whatever you need to do. Or I've seen people who like to do kitchen renovations in the summer because they can grill out all summer. It's not super disruptive to them. They know that it's going to take a few months. They kind of lean in, and they have their refrigerator moved into the garage. So they have their makeshift kitchens. If it's the winter, you decide this is when you're taking on the home repair. You need to figure out where your makeshift kitchen is going to be. How long are your lives going to be disrupted? Ask those questions. Where are you on the list? Nowadays, every contractor has a list. Everyone's getting work done. Again, that goes back to our patience part here that we had in the beginning. So just ask as many questions as you possibly can, because it's going to make everyone happier. You're going to have a set expectation. You're going to understand how long something is going to take. They're going to know that, you know, you want to have this done in X amount of time. And then you'll know for planning purposes how far they are back in their list, meaning, you know, how many people are ahead of you. So you can then plan. And one last thing, if you are doing multiple things, I have many clients who are getting roofs on, houses painted, insulation, electrical work done all at the same time. You need to be able to plan and fit people in where they fit. Of course, you don't want to have your house painted and then your roof ripped off. That's not really the right way to do it, just in case something happens when they're tearing off those shingles. So you want to plan accordingly. So understanding where you fit, how long a job's going to take will help you plan. Planning is key. Next slide.
And it was thanks to this workshop that I had my roof done first, painting done second. Next slide.
Yeah. Okay, and then again, before we sign our contract, is this a permit job? This is really important. If you've been tuning out, now is time to focus back in for just a brief moment, or put this into your mental notes. There are two different types of permits. There's a homeowner permit and there's a contractor permit. A homeowner permit means that you, the homeowner, are doing the work yourself. So when the inspector comes out, they're holding you accountable for making sure it was done and meets code compliance. If you pull a contractor permit, that means the contractor is pulling a permit on your behalf. They are the ones who are held accountable for that work. The homeowner permit tends to be less money. Contractor permit tends to cost a little bit more, but again, you're holding people accountable. Sometimes contractors will say, I'm going to save you a little money. You just pull a homeowner permit. You know, we'll do it right. And then they'll come out and inspect it. It'll pass no problem. Unless you know how to do the work, do not pull a homeowner permit. If you're paying a contractor to do the work, they need to pull the permits. Again, you can call the building department. They can tell you if your job requires a permit. There is a form on the website that you can see. They list out everything. It's super helpful. Really, it's a lose-lose if you pull a homeowner permit if you are not doing the work, or a friend who you're not paying is doing the work. That's perfectly fine to pull a permit or a homeowner permit. But if you are paying a contractor to do work, they need to pull the permits. So again, please just remember, contractor, you're paying them for work. Contractor permit, a friend is coming over and helping you out, then a homeowner permit is okay.
Hey, Allison, so if the contractor is going to pull the permit, do they include, or do they take the cost of the permit and include it into the project budget? Is that how that would work?
So it could be either. That's a great question. It could be either. So sometimes they will have a line in there that says permit included X amount of dollars. Or they will say permit additional cost of. So it's not included in the actual estimate. So like I had my furnace replaced recently. I paid the contractor fee, the permit fee separately. So I had my furnace and my air conditioner installed. It was X price. And then they had an additional line item outside of that cost for the permit. And permit fees do fluctuate based on the estimated cost of the improvement. So if it's, you know, $1,000 repair, the permit is going to cost X amount of dollars. If it's a $5,000 repair, it's going to cost X amount of dollars. And if it's a $50,000 repair, it'll cost another price. So they do change based on the work that's being done.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay, great. So your job, you signed your contract, you're feeling good, you agreed to the payment plan, everyone feels good. Your job's about to start. So these are things that no one thinks about. I am going to tell you that I get sob stories repeatedly from people who have had their roof replaced and they have stuff in their attic and the little asphalt nubbies that come off of the roof when they're tearing off your old roof and putting on your new roof gets into everything, and the contractor doesn't clean it up. I just want to repeat that. Any asphalt nubbies that are left in your attic, the contractor's not going to clean it up. We get some complaints, oh, they didn't come and clean up all the asphalt that's in my attic. They're not going to. It's not in your estimate. It's not right. It's not in writing. So if you're getting some major work done, just think about what's being tackled. So clean, make sure everything's covered in your attic, have a plan for cleaning it up. Is there a lot of banging that's going to happen? Whatever they're doing, do you have prized artwork or some special, something that your child made or you made or whomever, your favorite David Bowie poster, whatever it is, make sure you take it down off of the walls so that nothing happens to it. Again, they're not removing anything up there. So if you have anything precious, I've heard of wedding dresses being ruined, christening gowns, just nice clothes that you store up in the attic, all ruined because people weren't thinking about that. Next slide. Exterior painting. So they tend to put down tarps. They should. That's a requirement. And so then they put that up against your house. So if you have prized petunias, grandma's plants, I have a client who has a 100-year-old rose bush. 100-year-old rose bush.
Wow.
You want to point that out to the contractor or fence it off and also tell the contractor, but let them know that you have prized petunias around your house. If not, they're going to put the tarp over it and traipse on it and step on it and put ladders on it, and it's going to, if it's something that's precious, it needs to really be told to them. So just be aware. And again, hold your contractors accountable. If you are getting your house painted and you just had your roof replaced and they put paint on your roof, sprinkle some drips, or dump a whole can of paint. We've seen that before. They need to remedy that situation, and you need to be comfortable with the way that they're doing that. If you just had your house painted like Ian and someone backs their truck into it, just have an understanding of what your house looks like before they come out so that you can hold them accountable. When my siding was put on, apparently I've had a lot of work done, they ruined several of my screens. And so I had to tell them, listen, my screens were great when you came. Now they have tears in them. So they actually replaced the screens for me, which was great. But you have to be proactive and be aware of the situations so that you can bring it up to them so that they take care of them. Next slide. All right, so during the construction period, make your presence known. Sometimes we can't be home when the work is being done. Try to come home on your lunch hour. Try to be present. Nowadays, a lot of people are working from home or have the ability. Work from home those days. Make your presence known. It's kind of a joke, but maybe not. Set out the lemonade and the lawn chairs. Sit out in the front yard and watch the work being done. Those contractors are going to be on their best behavior, both with the workmanlike work that they're doing and their actual behavior, meaning if they're playing loud music, if they are smoking, if they're doing whatever, they're going to clean up after themselves more than likely if you're there and you are present. Invite your friends over for coffee. And this is also important to remind you, if you don't feel comfortable being alone with a contractor, totally understandable. You want to, again, check your safety level. Invite a friend over. Have someone come over and hang out with you during the day. There's nothing wrong with that, and it's fine. It's another set of eyes over there just to keep an eye and make sure everything's being done like it's supposed to. Next slide. Okay. So if this is a permit job, so the work's been completed, do not pay your contractor until the permit has been closed, which means an inspector has come out, taken a look at the work, and then has signed off on it. That's when it's okay to pay. Don't give them any money until that work has been signed off on, because they may not come back out. You signed off, you paid them, In their minds, the work is, done. So again, make sure that the inspector's coming out. Sometimes the contractor will arrange the permanent inspection for you. So they'll say so-and-so's coming by on this day. Other times they'll put the onus on you to call and set up an appointment because they don't know your schedule. Either is a fine option. You just need to make sure that you do have that permit inspected.
And to know clearly who is going to be doing what and not assuming that the other person's going to do it. Correct. If it is a permanent job, we got to hold everyone accountable just to make sure that the inspectors come out and it's been signed off on. And if you do get a permit with the city, you can sign up with CitizenServe. That's the website that they use to manage all of their permits, as well as get contractors registered. You as a homeowner can get your own portal, your username and password. And if it's, an outside inspection and you don't have to be home when they're doing it, you can see on that portal whether or not a permit has been closed. So the permit will be opened in the contractor's name as well as your name, meaning you're the homeowner. So you can check it out, or you can call them. They are so nice down there at the building department. Call them on the phone. Hey, did my inspector come out? Did it pass? And then you'll know. They used to give out green stickers. They're doing that on certain repairs to let you know that a permit has been signed off on. There are some that they don't do that anymore. So, it's just a simple phone call down to the building department, and they'd be happy to answer that question for you. Next slide. Okay, so permit job, been inspected, you're feeling good. Maybe it's not a permit job, exterior painting or roofing. Some people are surprised to find out that roofing is no longer a permit job. Back in 2008, when the economy was collapsing, the state of Ohio actually removed the requirement for roofing permits. So communities are no longer required or able to require roofing permits. So just, again, you can check out the website or call us and we'll let you know about that. So are you happy with the job? Yes, great. Go ahead and pay them. If not, why? Is it something that can be fixed? Maybe, they need to do a little touch up on the painting. Or are you just being a little nitpicky? And I hate to say it this way, Ian, you know me. You just have to really, figure out, because contractors are contractors. Sometimes they're going to respond well to you saying, oh, I'm not really happy with X. Or maybe you've been telling them the whole time that it's been a fantastic job, everything looks great. And then all of a sudden, when it comes time to pay them, you say, I'm not really happy with the job. So you really need to have your notes together, your reasoning of why you're not happy with something, so that they can go ahead and get that remedied and taken care of. So I don't know why this is in the slide, and I'm real sorry. We don't have contractor evaluations anymore. So mental note, I'll remove this from the presentation. But you can always call us and let people know that a job has been done well or bad. We're happy to hear both sides of the story. So after it's all said and done, you're happy, you pay everyone, everything works out. And again, just to remind you, you can always call me. If you have questions, you can find me on the website, or my information will be at the end of this presentation. Happy to work with you, even just talk through something. I have no dogs in the hunt, none. I just want to ensure that everyone's getting a job well done. Our homes are being kept in good repair. So however I can be helpful to you, me and other folks at LakewoodAlive, Mark and Matt, would be happy to work with you. Talk through things and kind of, we'll pick each other's brains to see, where we're at. I'll welcome your phone call, but then I'll transfer you to the folks who know what they're talking about. That's the way that I play.
Yes, we have a lot of friendly people who answer our phones. So when it's all said and done, keep your paperwork in one place. So what that means is whether you're a paper person like me and you have your filing cabinet where everything's kept, or you are a technology person, there are apps for that can help you stay organized. But you want to keep all your stuff in one place so you can find out how long your warranty is. Oh, it's year 8 and I have a leak in my roof. Am I still under warranty? We're now seeing the average of about 10 years for roofing warranties. Some of them are lifetime. Lifetime, nobody knows what that means. If you ask a contractor, you'll get 7 different answers. Basically, it's based on the life of the shingles. And most shingles right now, you're getting anywhere from 30 to 50 years, according to the manufacturer. So they will, those lifetime warranties are based on the longevity or the lifetime of the shingles. You want to keep all your paperwork together, though, especially if it's transferable. If you sell your house or give it to someone, you'll want to keep all that paperwork together so they can take advantage of that warranty. You'll also want to know how it works. Again, did you have to go online and get it started? Did you have to send in a receipt? Just make sure you have it all together and you know how to utilize it. And then again, as I mentioned earlier, make sure you figure out how to activate that warranty. Next slide. Payment. So keep a record of how and when you paid. This doesn't really happen as much anymore, especially with people who are paying with credit cards. We can track down payments, but you want to show that you've paid, especially if something comes, a question about your warranty, or if a bad contractor tries to put a lien on your property for some reason. They say that you haven't paid them. That's not very common, but weird things happen. So by keeping everything together in one place, your proof of payment, you can handle pretty much any situation that's going to come in front of you if you just keep all your paperwork together. Also, if you do use a warranty for whatever reason, keep track of how often you have to have that contractor come out and fix things. So I see this really often with appliances. I see it with flashing on chimneys. Flashing on chimneys is the metal part along with mortar and caulk that goes around it to keep the water out. We oftentimes see leaks that are around that flashing on the chimney. And there's often warranties associated with it. Chimneys leak, flat roofs leak. They're just not they're great, but the technology is ever changing because they are not a perfect system. So you just want to keep an eye on how often people are coming out, because, you may have something that's faulty. If your refrigerator keeps dying in the first 2 years, that's a problem. Or you have a new something, whatever it is. If they have to come out and service it often early on in your warranty, we all know, right? Warranties are created to never be used, right? The day that your warranty expires, how many times have you seen it? Something breaks, something leaks, something happens. So that product is generally probably made for the lifetime of that warranty. So just say something, show the documentation. We've had workmen out here X number of times to fix something. Perhaps this is a lemon and we need to get it replaced. So just keep it all in one place.
Well, and that record keeping gives you a leg to stand on, and it's not just you complaining about something, but you can actually show what has happened, especially when there's folks who are probably involved who weren't involved on prior cases.
Correct. And there are apps that can help you keep everything. In our home maintenance workshop, we talk about apps, where you just keep it all on your phone in one place. So come for that one. That's exciting. But there are online apps where you can just keep everything. Those apps come in handy for, next slide, please, for your paint colors. I don't know about you. I did a lot of painting during the pandemic, doing some touch-ups. And I had little tubs of touch-up paint, and they didn't match. And I tried really hard to remember that cute name of my paint, mushroom bisque or sunset sea breeze or whatever those ridiculous names are. And I never remember them, ever. So some ways that you can remember, you put them with your paperwork. You can also put a little piece of paper behind your light switch cover, just tape it in there of the room. So then you can just take the light switch cover off and it's waiting for you. Or you can use an app that keeps all that information together for you. If I had the energy, I would take you downstairs to see the mismatched spots. but we've all been there, done that. So there are ways to help you keep on track with that. And then your type of roofing material, color, whatever it is, if you keep it in one place, it'll be a lot easier to either repair something or replace it because you'll know exactly what it was that was installed in the first place.
Hey, Allison, I have a question for you on that one. When we had our roof replaced, we were left with the excess shingles, and there were several bundles of shingles. Is it important to hang on to at least one of those or all of them, or what should you do with those extra shingles that are left behind?
So I think that there's two ways. More than likely, you're never going to use those shingles. Or by the
I'm not climbing up there.
Or that even if you were to have a repair, by the time, hopefully, that you would need a repair, your warranty would be expired. And those shingles are going to be old and brittle. So they're probably, because they've been sitting in your garage, right? Like heat, cold. More than likely, you're not moving them into your living room or your bedroom or wherever that the temperatures are kept in a good space. You could keep some, but if you have more than an open bundle, I would probably say, unless you know, like you didn't replace your garage roof or, a certain aspect of your roof that has the same matching shingle and you think you might do that in the future, then definitely save those. But if you have no future plans, I would not save them. They just probably can't reuse those bundles because of the color, or you paid for them, so they want you to have them. It's probably just a lot easier than them taking them back. So I would say keep a few or an open bundle, but you could probably see if they would take the unopened bundles and maybe give you some money back if it's a normal, regular color instead of like my blue shingle.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay, next slide. So we're here at the end. We made it. And we're almost right on time. We're a few minutes behind, but basically the things that I want us all to remember is we are in charge. We are the bosses. We're signing the contract. We're paying the money. Ask questions. Hold your contractors accountable. 90% of them are amazing, wonderful people who will work with you and are so understanding and are flexible and will meet you where you're at. There are just a few bad apples, and you just want to protect yourself from those. So you can always reach out to me to maneuver through those things, or you can reach out to the building department or the hardware stores, Cleveland Lumber, whomever. There are people out there who can help you. So the things that we're remembering, I need your help here, Ian. So we've got patience.
Patience. Write it down.
Right. Never give people money who you don't trust and they may never return. And then homeowner permit versus contractor permit. And unless you are really knowledgeable about that repair, don't get a homeowner permit.
And number 5, make sure to shake it off.
Oh, right. Yes. You have to, if I have done it before and I will do it for any of you, I will give you a pep talk before you start into your journey of whatever it is you're trying to contract. I will give you words to use. I will tell you you're amazing and wonderful and you can handle this. I will do whatever it takes to make you feel comfortable because, again, I'm just thinking it right now, like I have to call someone to come out and fix this, and I don't want to do that because it's a hassle. And I have more knowledge than the average person. It's a hassle. You have to call probably 6 of them to get 2 estimates. Many roofers are booked through the whole season. Painters, they're booked. Everyone's booked. So we have to get creative, and we have to make sure that we find the right solution, and we are not acting in desperation when we are making choices. So I'm hoping you're feeling empowered. If there are any questions, now is the time. Happy to answer them. You do have my contact information. If you go to LakewoodAlive.org, you can find me on there. I'm Allison. And I truly eat, sleep, breathe housing. I love it so much. It's something that I just enjoy talking to people about. So please reach out. And again, join us in July 15th for home maintenance. It's going to be Ian and myself again. And then in August for lead safety. And then hopefully you'll join us in September for interior painting, new workshop this year. So I hope you've enjoyed this as much as I have. I hope you picked up a few things.
I think it's been great. I definitely picked up some more things. So thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you all. Thank you so much, Ian, for sitting here with me tonight. And again, this will be posted on our website probably early next week. And feel free to watch it a few times or not, but it'll be there in case you want to check it out. And I hope that you all have a wonderful rest of your evening and enjoy the weather. Take care. Bye-bye.